Hey, I'm Paul, the Running Shoe Guru. This is Marathon Handbook, and this is a video that I've wanted to make for quite a long time, really. I collect shoes, and I guess that's just from being in the industry for a long time. I've managed to pick up some quite unusual models over the years. With the release of the latest Evo 1 from Adidas a couple of weeks ago, and that world record in the marathon, it got people thinking about some rather unusual shoes. Now really, with the Evo 1 from Adidas, it was more the price that made it stand out. Okay, it's a high stack, super foam carbon plated marathon racer, but Adidas have other shoes like that with the Prime X, and that's a crazier shoe with the 50mm stack and the twin carbon plates. So I'm going to look here at some of the craziest shoes, racing shoes, minimalist and maximal kind of shoes over the last 20 or 30 years or so. The first shoe is the Adizero Adios Pro Evo 1, or was it the Evo 2 that was worn in the marathon? Okay, there's a slightly different outsole, and the outsole on the shoe that was commercially available, and some people may have that already, is the liquid rubber version, whereas it was the continental rubber outsole that we saw in the Berlin Marathon. I don't have that shoe, but it is a limited availability model. It is sold out now. It was £400 or $500, 500 euros. It was limited to 521 pairs. We believe it was made available in that limited quantity in order to satisfy World Athletics rules. It was a 40mm stack. It's got a carbon plate in there and not the carbon-infused energy rods that Adidas had previously used. The main thing about it was it's incredibly lightweight, reported to be around 135, 140 grams. I've not read any reviews from anyone else outside of elite sponsored athletes, so we've yet to see it in the wild, shall we say, other than on the elites. But it has got that light strike pro foam. I suspect it's got a lot more air injected into it to reduce the weight and keep it lighter. But it's also a limited use shoe. I'd just say it's good for one marathon and preparation. It can't be more than 50 miles, otherwise it would be for 2 marathons. A few warm-up strides perhaps, your A race, and then you're done. And I think that's due to the softness of the foam and the durability, and perhaps the durability of that liquid rubber outsole. Also, about 20 years ago, Nike came out with a shoe that also had limited use, and it was called the Mayfly, and there was really nothing to it at all. 25mm stack, a paper thin, almost kind of ripstop nylon upper, so little structure in the upper that it doesn't support itself, as you can see. And it did come with a label saying limited for 100 kilometers. It also came with a bag to send them back and to get them to recycle the shoe, perhaps a little bit more eco-friendly credentials. But the main thing with the Mayfly, and why everybody had a pair of Mayflies, and this was, I think, around 2003, it was £25. Everybody tested a pair of Mayfly. I had the store back then. We were selling a lot of these shoes, and people really found it so incredibly light. And because most shoes were in the £75 to £100 price bracket back then, that at £25, people just, I'm going to try a pair. There's nothing to lose, really. This is a size 9, and it weighs 148 grams. So that really puts into perspective the Adidas Evo 1 at around 135, 140. It's lighter than this, and this feels like nothing at all. 20 years ago, this was the pinnacle of racing shoes, the Nike Mayfly, and only £25. I want to rewind a little bit at this point to talk about another shoe. I think it was about 1985, and Nike had introduced air cushioning to their shoes. They had the Nike Tailwind, which was their first running shoe with an air sole unit in it. But this one, the Air Max 95, was my favourite of the time. Purely, the aesthetics of it, I love the colourways. A lot of people were wearing it on TV at the time, so it became a very popular shoe, and it's the kind of shoe that really brought air cushioning to the masses. Nike were becoming more popular. In the UK, you could still only find them in running stores, and I remember training in these shoes. It was a neutral shoe. It's got an airbag encapsulated in this polyurethane-based sole. It did start to crumble away after a while, and it was quite heavy. This one's about 450 grams. I have measured it. It's got a 40mm stack in there, so I just loved the Air Max. I just thought it was a stunning looking shoe. Now, although the Alpha Fly and the Vaporfly are the most popular and, well, you might think quite outrageous, certainly with the Alphafly looking shoes. They do have another model, and it's called the Max Scorpion. Now, this little beauty is £230, $250, and it's got a very deep 50mm stack. Now, it's not marketed as an everyday running shoe, but it is incredibly comfortable, as you can imagine. You've got a lot of squashiness, softness, bounciness from this very deep Max midsole, and it runs all the way through the shoe. I mean, it's everywhere. It's a massive amount of air. 50mm stack. It does weigh in at 485 grams, unfortunately. Kind of twice the weight of a regular running shoe nowadays. But the Air Max Scorpion just shows you what can be done. And I just thought it was a crazy looking shoe. Now, another very unusual shoe, this one from 2020, the Mizuno NZ, and that's energy with a Z. Now, this was a concept shoe, so it was launched by Mizuno, limited numbers, wasn't officially on sale, although I think a few people did manage to get hold of them in the US. I'm not sure how many pairs it was limited to, but basically the energy cushioning is the same cushioning that's found in the new Wave Rider, Skyrise, Wave Inspire. So it was to launch their new cushioning material, and it was kind of like their super foam. So in this model, yeah, we've got lots of it. So it features the energy foam outer shell, if you like, and an internal energy foam core. It's kind of hollowed out through the middle of the shoe, and we've got a slightly softer material in the centre to centre the foot, stabilise it and absorb the impact. But there's just simply lots of cushioning going on there. It does weigh 400 grams. It is heavy, okay? But it kind of does wrap around the foot and disappears a little bit on the foot. Very soft stretch, sock-like knitted upper on it, seamless design. 55mm stack. Yeah, it is very soft and really quite responsive to running as well. Mizuno Energy. Now let's look at a couple of shoes that you can buy and run in today. The Adidas Adizero Prime 2 Strong Edition. So the Strong Edition is essentially this woven upper. It provides a very close fit, it's very thin but very strong, adds a lot of structure to the shoe. 50mm stack, okay, so it is on sale. You can't wear it in World Athletics competitions, but in the second version of this shoe, the 50mm stack wasn't enough to get you banned. We've now got twin carbon plates. So we've got 3 layers of Light Strike Pro foam in here and twin carbon plates, and they're sandwiching this piece here. The Light Strike Pro, it is incredibly soft in this shoe. It's very difficult to see the carbon plates, but they are in here. The bottom of the two has got a cutaway in it so you can see the second layer. And we've not got the energy rods in this particular model. It has got the plates. So they run through the heel, midfoot into the forefoot. It's incredibly soft. It is a little bit broader and more stable. Broader footprint creates more lateral stability. They have beveled it away on the lateral side for in the initial impact to kind of catch your foot in that supinated position and get it to roll into neutral as it rolls forward. It does feel more stable, but it's certainly not the steadiest riding shoe. 50mm, twin carbon plates, 3 layers of foam, bang. Much better than version 1. I have got a video comparing the two coming up, and that's going to come out very soon, so keep posted. And if you're not already subscribing, please do so, and maybe like this video as well, give it a little thumbs up. And if that one wasn't quite enough, probably my favourite from this lineup of shoes, Puma Fastroid. Now this has been created to bridge the gap between performance running and fashion. They are selling it as a fashion shoe. It is £315, $350. It is available in other colours at the moment, and it's essentially a pumped up version of the Fastar Nitro Elite. So it shares the same decoupled heel and forefoot with the carbon plate through the centre into the forefoot. Sits at the bottom of the shoe here. You can see it better on the medial side, but you've got a very deep foam. If you didn't guess, not competition approved. At 360 grams, it is kind of runnable, and it is really quite enjoyable to run in, although I've only done a few. But take a guess at the stack. I measured it at 65mm. Well, I forgot in the forefoot there. About 40 to 50mm under the ball of the foot. So if you're going to be banned, if you're going to be illegal, don't mess around with 50mm. Go 65, you know? What's the point? So it is a crazy shoe, the Puma Fastroid. So what's yours? Are you an NZ kind of guy? Puma Fastroid? Or do you want to stick with just an everyday boring kind of Prime X at 50mm now? Let us know. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts in the comments. And like I say, keep watching, do subscribe. Thanks for watching once again.